our Southern campaign. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Hi. Senator. Hi. We're right back in 2 minutes. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and I am pleased to be here, and I apologize for the delay, but we were talking with Governor Carter, and we had very much. But the purpose of our visit, not just to Georgia, but wherever we go, is to carry the campaign, to underscore and to underline and to emphasize wherever we can that yesterday morning when, while Governor Carter was listening to George Meany, I was visiting with President Ford. And President Ford knew where I was going, and he said his message was simply this: there's only one ticket that truly represents the best interests of the South, and that ticket, the ticket of Gerald Ford and Robert Dole, will campaign hard to win the support and loyalty of Southern voters. Now, you may state, as I have before, nothing could be farther from the truth. There are some very basic and good and sound reasons for this. First of all, I believe that Southerners, like most other Americans, want us to be the most powerful nation on the face of the earth, not for war, but for peace. And we have the Carter and Mondale ticket talking about a further cut in defense expenditures of $5 to $8 billion. Georgia's always been one of the leaders in the defense effort, and I think perhaps the voters in this area, as in other southern states, are concerned about our strength in the world. I think most Americans, most Southerners, want America to stand tall in the saddle. We're proud of our role in world affairs. We're not seeking territory. We're not seeking aggression. We're trying to uphold peace in the world and play our role in that fashion. At the same time, the Carter-Mondale ticket is talking about withdrawal of our forces from vital outposts abroad. I think most Southerners want to hold down the cost of living. You're concerned about spending. You're concerned about government bureaucracy. You're concerned about taxes.
Let's get some cut.
We $1 billion more. According to Lou Harris and Human Events not long ago, it would double the cost of government. I think most Southerners, like most Americans, are concerned about the free enterprise system and self-reliance. President Ford believes in block grant programs, local approach to solutions. And finally, I think most Americans, and certainly most Southerners, I know President Ford. I've known him for 16 years. He's been in the White House. He's an outstanding man, and I think he has earned the confidence of a great many Americans. So I would just say in that preliminary statement that we're in the South not for any phony demonstration. We're not down there trying to fool anybody that we're just coming down as a token and we'll be coming back sometime before November. We're down here on serious business. We're down here to put together the Ford and the Reagan forces, the independents, the Democrats, and the Republicans to win in November and win with a big margin. And so we're here for that purpose. And from here we go to Macon, and from there we go to Charlotte, and there we go to Salisbury, and there we go to South Carolina. And we'll be back again and again. So those running for Congress and other offices, you're not writing you off, we're writing you up. And that's the way.
Why did you do it?
Well, I thought of it coming down. Somebody remind me how near I was to planes. someone with blonde hair, as I remember. But and I knew I couldn't drive there, and I thought it'd be the right thing to do. I have no quarrel with Governor Carter. I think he's probably a very fine person. I just don't share his philosophy. And so we tried a couple of numbers, and we were able to find his number, and I don't know who answered, but I think it was probably Mrs. Carter, and we just had a very pleasant visit. He was happy I was in Georgia, and I was happy I was in Georgia. And I wished him luck to a point. I think he said the same thing to me, to a point.
Senator, will abortion become an issue in this campaign as it was in your senatorial campaign? Do you plan to make it an issue?
I didn't make it an issue in my senatorial campaign. I don't plan to make it an issue, no.
Senator, the Carter forces seem to think that the Republicans might come up with some international feat prior to the November election, such as the arms.
But it's not, as far as I know, there's no design to have some bombshell drop the day before election.
What about these debates, sir? Do you plan to let, or does the president plan to include such other presidential candidates such as McCarthy and Lester Maddox?
Well, I don't think that's the president's choice. I think that's up to the Federal Elections Commission. I'm not certain Senator McCarthy, former Senator McCarthy, insists on that right. I watched President Ford probably wouldn't. I find the Republicans.
But they'll turn over to the more conservative Republican ticket. Where does your conservative constituency lie in the South?
Where? I think it's fairly widespread in the South. I think if there is we can look at the Republican primary and see what Governor Reagan did. His successes throughout the South make a difference, and he always say, well, get it out of the dark room. So I think if they supported a conservative as they supported Senator, now he does say different things in different places, which makes it difficult to pinpoint. Yesterday in Washington, he was talking about the economy and about, in effect, making the Federal Reserve System subservient to the executive or the president. So I believe that there are a number of inconsistencies which we will continue to point up. He talks about a strong defense, as I said, and talks about cutting $5 to $8 billion. President Ford, after 10 years of cuts in defense by the Democrat Congress, has finally this year gotten about what this country needs in defense, about $112 billion. So I think those are some, and there'll be others.
Senator, Governor Reagan was notably absent from the latest strategy session you held in Vail. When might we expect to see Reagan on the campaign trail?
I've had no direct contact with Governor Reagan, but I did meet with Lynn Nofziger, who was sort of the campaign director, convention director, at lunch with him, I think, 2 days ago. He indicated that, we could work that out. I think Governor Reagan, like other candidates, including Mr. Carter and President Ford, after a very extensive and exhaustive campaign, they wanted to take a little time off, and I don't see any problem with Governor Reagan.
Would you like to see Reagan campaign in the South, since he does have so much popularity?
I'd like to go with him.
You think he will do so?
I hope so, and I think so, but I can't. I don't think anyone knows Senator Mondale down here, and I don't intend to right on.
Capitalizing on this conservative element in your own campaign.
Well, I can identify one, Charlie Black, right here, who was one of the Reagan shakers and movers, and we've talked with Lynn Nofziger. We're not trying to capitalize. We're trying to not only signal, but this isn't tokenism, because Charlie Black has been working ever since our first conversation. We're not looking for that sort of an arrangement. It's an active partnership for victory.
You said your visit to Georgia was not a token one, yet you're spending probably a total of an hour and a half at most in both Atlanta and Macon, and you're meeting only with a few.
And we've had that meeting, and we're coming back. I don't want to be misunderstood. We thought it'd be good to stop in Atlanta on the way to Macon and have a press conference. Carter, we don't consider it token. We'll be back.
Governor Carter was more liberal than he might appear to be, and that might be exploitive on the South. Do you plan in your stops in the South to talk about Senator Mondale?
What
what you said here this afternoon. Any further questions? Thank you very much for being with us.
Get it right
Go back to the same room we were in. Maybe that way.
Oh, good. Yeah, good.
Ready?
Could you talk a little bit back and forth? Really almost want to interrupt and say, hey, you know, there's a lot of...
Dole admitted that he was only meeting with the media and Republican officials on this visit to the South, but he said that capitalizing on what he calls Carter's softness of support in this state and the South in general, Dole said, "We'll be back," and he guaranteed it. For Action News, John Pruitt at Hartsfield Airport.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.